Hi, and welcome back to yet another insightful episode of the Mental Health Show. My name is Kanyas Edna, and I'm always delighted to have you here. Today, we're going to talk about a very interesting topic, one that affects many of our new moms in society today. And today, I have two very beautiful guests. I have Sumaya, should I say doctor? And Victoria. Okay, and Victoria. Sumaya will be sharing her personal experience, but she's also an expert. So if she chips in here and there, it's okay. And Victoria is the expert of the show. She'll be telling us about postpartum depression and how it affects moms, how we can overcome it, how we can even prevent it. Can it be prevented?
Sure.
Yes, how we can even prevent it. So I think it's going to do us justice if I start with you, Sumaya, to share with us your experience before the doctor tells us now, diagnoses you.
I see. When it comes to giving birth or getting pregnant, it usually stems up a lot of emotions, from being so excited to a lot of joy, to fear, to anxiety, and sometimes to an unknown or a very new experience that can come to a mother that is by accident, and sometimes it is called depression. So that is what they call postpartum depression. When I had my first child, I didn't know what was happening.
Of course.
I feel like actually we need to tell new moms or new mothers on what to expect when they've had their children.
I agree.
Throughout pregnancy, because all this postpartum depression usually can start from when you're pregnant throughout to breastfeeding. So when I had my first child, I was so excited, I was so happy, but at the same time I was scared, I was anxious. Will I be able to handle all this? Will I be able to feed my child? And I got an issue of breast milk. I did not have enough breast milk. So that is where my depression stemmed from. I could not provide for my baby, and I felt like I was a failure as a mother. How could I not have enough breast milk? Everyone looked at my bust and they were like, but you have a big bust. How come you don't have enough milk? I hated myself. I hated my body. I hated the changes that came with it. And the only way, that is when I actually knew that I needed help, because I could not take care of my baby well. I could not take care of myself. I lost interest in taking care of myself. It's like I shifted all my attention from myself to my baby. And that is one very big mistake that mothers, first-time mothers usually do. We get to shift all the attention from ourselves to our baby. And yet we need to balance it. If I'm not okay, I cannot really take care of my baby, which is really important.
Ooh, guys, I feel like as a first-time mom, it's quite difficult to shift the attention from the baby to yourself.
I agree.
Because, I mean, everyone is coming. How is the baby? Baby, has the baby eaten? No one is just saying, have you eaten or have you showered? Even if it's, have you eaten, it's, have you taken porridge
for the baby? It's not, the focus is not yours anymore.
Have you taken porridge? So I don't know, is that, how does the balancing, is it even a possibility?
It is a very big possibility. That's, I think, when we need someone to remind us, you need to have enough rest, because you actually have to. I learned later that when you rest well, you actually get to have a lot of breast milk. So those are some of the things that mothers should be told, that when you rest enough, when you take enough fluids, when you get time and do exercises, for you, you see that is now self-care for you as a mother before you actually get to look at a child. But for you, because if you're okay, if you're healthy, if you're in a good mental state, you can be able to take care of your child very well.
100%. I feel like information gap is too big. So thank you so much for sharing your experience. So Maya, over to you, Victoria. What do you think this, I want to call it a heavy name, but anyway, postpartum depression is here, and does it happen to everyone? Are there people who don't get postpartum depression? I forgot to ask.
It depends. Everyone reacts differently. I believe everyone reacts differently. Depends. Do you have a support system? Which is a very big aspect.
Right, you're right. So how can we prevent postpartum depression from happening, but then also if you could also shed some light on the effects of postpartum depression for us who have not yet become moms, so that when it comes, we are armed. We're like, I had this on the mental health show. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Adna.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for hosting us here today. My name once again is Victoria Zalwango. I am a mental health advocate. I'm an activist. I'm very passionate about mental health and mental wellness for everybody. Not only am I a voice for those victims, but I'm also their hand.
Ooh.
And I'm not yet a mother, but yes, I have some information about the topic we are sharing today. You're not yet a mother, but yeah, we can chip in tips together. Like we just had a leap from Mrs. Sumaya about mental health, about postpartum depression. This is a condition that commonly occurs amongst new mothers. We could also term it to be postnatal. It's a condition that affects new mothers, especially when you have not had a support system, I may say. In most cases, we see that it comes with different phases. It will range from acute, we have subacute, and also the late phase. The acute phase is that one that occurs immediately after birth, on delivery of a new baby. A mother will have challenges, different emotions all over the place that come along with that. That is very acute, and usually it's between the time of birth to about 24 hours. We have the subacute. This one will occur normally from 2 weeks to about 6 weeks. And in the late phase, that's the one from about 6 weeks to all the way 6 months and even beyond. You find that some mothers actually go through this for a longer time. Yes. No, that should not scare you to become a mother. No, don't be scared, Edna. That's where we are headed to. But sometimes this condition is mistaken to be a mental health issue. It is not. It is a medical condition that everyone needs to appreciate. Why am I saying they need to appreciate it? Because if you seek for help, you can get out of it.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. We find that there are baby blues that these new mothers go through. Like she said, she had to shift her attention from herself to the baby. It's not about that. Becoming a mother does not stop your life. Your life has not ended. You still had a life as Somaya, who did not have a child. And you have a life to live as Somaya with a child or children. So in most cases, we advise new mothers to seek for help. We have support groups. We have mental health experts that you can reach out to for support. We have families, we have our loved ones. I do not know how much time we have, but it also, if we had enough time, the postpartum depression also affects the father. Did you know about that?
Yes.
Of course, definitely.
It does.
Yeah, it must affect.
In most cases. But what am I trying to say? When you seek for help, you are definitely going to get out of this condition.
100%.
Yes.
Wow. Did you know there are mom support groups? I didn't know, guys. I feel like if I got one, I'll join one now so that when they're telling me I go there when I'm sure it's coming for me. So anyway, thank you so much, Victoria, for sharing with us and for putting some light there, saying it's not a mental health challenge.
Not at all.
It is actually a medical condition.
Yes.
So don't take it lightly. If you're out there and you're going through postpartum depression, don't take it lightly. Seek for help. Look for a support group. If you don't get it, you can send us a message and then we can be able to, plug you. I'm going to pick resources from these two beautiful ladies and we'll be sharing with you in case you send us a message. Yes, over to you, Sumaya. She has highlighted on what happens when you find yourself in such a situation. How about me? What can I do to prepare myself for that medical condition? Because I don't know, the more I read about depression, the more I see, or even from my experience, I saw that because I was dark inside, it was very hard for me to even share light with other people. So even their emotions, I mean, my sadness was rubbing off on them, and so they were all unhappy. I mean, you can't be a sad person around and very, very happy people. So my sadness was rubbing off on them. How can we prevent that? Especially because we have an infant child whose whole entire being. How they turn, how they move their hand depends on me as a mom. How can I prevent that from happening?
The postpartum depression.
You know, how can I prepare myself for that moment? But then also, how can I prepare myself for my sadness not to
spread all over
to my support system, the one that's supposed to be
I
on.
think the whole thing comes from sensitization. Once we know what it is, we are able to stand and face it.
Yeah.
Like I told you, sometimes we do not know what we are going through, so we can't handle it. We hear parents or support people, the support system around us. Maybe, she's not happy, she's sad now, and they think now it's now her life because she has had a child. However, if they get to know that there are instances of postpartum depression and they manifest this way, they're able to come out and seek for help. For a mother who is pregnant or someone that is planning to actually have a baby, you need to know that there is something we call depression screening. Yeah, there's a screening questionnaire for a person for a pregnant mother to come and assess yourself. You can come to us. Let us give you the questionnaire so that you know, where do I lie?
Where can we find you?
We are in Endeavour.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is us?
We are Suela Mental Health Services.
Oh.
Yes. And we offer all these screenings. We offer assessments for mental health. You can come and do diagnostic tests, and you're able to actually find out, am I susceptible? Do I have risk factors that can actually start it off? Then you're able to help yourself or help someone else. You asked a question, how can we help? And I told you have to first know exactly what is happening.
Yes.
When you do and you take an assessment, you're able to know that this is my problem.
Yes.
And it is very important that when you are pregnant, you do not stay in your house. Don't stay in your home and take folic alone. No, it is important. You go and check out with your health personnel. Tell them if you had a background of depression, if you have history in your lineage, it is important that you say all these things, because like I told you, when you are pregnant and you give birth, the emotions, the hormones that actually rose to the roof, they suddenly drop. So that is actually one of the risk factors that can precipitate off postpartum
Is that
depression.
an effect of the hormones, like my biology is skipping.
We have estrogen and progesterone.
Yeah. So the estrogen and progesterone levels go down
drastically
once
you give birth. So remember, these progesterones and estrogens have been shooting you up, taking you all over the place. And once they drop drastically, you cannot remain the same. So you need support, whether you want it or not. Wow. So when you know that you need support, and when you know that there are all these possibilities, from where we're coming from, our home places, maybe you're not in a good relationship with your partner, or you did not actually want the pregnancy, you have to ask for help as soon as possible.
Ask for help.
So the whole thing about postpartum depression is asking for help and getting as much rest as possible, because if you do not, then you can't be able to take care of this child.
Is rest even a reality? I'm about to turn this show into how to be a mom.
No. It is a reality.
Is
you know
rest
what?
a reality?
It is a very big reality, because guess what? I've had a child, and for me, it was a very big blow. I was like, what? I have to wake up every other 2 hours, and sometimes it's 1 hour. How do you handle that?
These kids sleep like for 5 minutes.
Thank you. And you have to make sure you are available, you are emotionally okay to support this child and to take care of them. You need sleep. You need to have the support system, is what we are talking about. Have your mother around, have your sister, have your partner. It is so important. If he comes back home and tells you, go and rest, I'll take care, let me take over. It is very important, because when you sleep, you get even to have enough breast milk.
Yeah.
You get even to, be able emotionally. Sleep is very important.
Yeah.
We do not know, we actually miss it most of the time. It's important, because when you sleep, you're able to handle even the difficulties, even the challenges that come with motherhood.
Wow, guys. Happy Women's Day. It now makes sense as to why there is a Women's Day and then a Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Because aside from being a mom, you're also a woman. and then you're a wife, and then you're a friend, then you're a sister, you're a daughter. Then there's this, remember, this all these situations, there's someone who is depending on you to move their hand, a sleeping position. I think he's tired.
Entirely.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Anyway, over to you, Victoria. Thank you so much, Sumaya. Over to you, Victoria. How can we know that our friends are going through postpartum depression? What are the signs or the symptoms to look out? Because as a mom, the first lesson they tell you after giving birth, actually not even after, in the labor ward, or even if you're feeling a little pain and you go to the doctor says, Kato, you know, you have to be strong. Some of them even feel like they can't say it. They can't, even if they can wrap their finger around it, they can't tell anyone that they're going through postpartum depression, so that they don't look like they're childish or being petty. So, but how do we, us who are friends, who are part of a support system, how do we tell that our friends are going through postpartum depression in the first to help them?
Thank you so much. That's a beautiful question.
Yeah.
And I'll begin with emphasizing the point that much as postpartum depression occurs immediately after giving birth, but there are some predetected factors. You talked of how do we tell that, actually my friend should be going through postpartum depression. Why am I saying it's predetected? We all have had friends who have been pregnant, and on instance that you tell them, oh, you look good, you're glowing, and then she'll be like, no, my nose is so big.
Yeah.
That is a predetected factor.
Oh.
So how do we tell that this person is going through this kind of depression? You find that in most cases, after they have given birth, they lose it all. Everything is lost. Now, like she says, it was a blow on her after giving birth.
She forgot to take care of herself.
She forgot to take care of herself. She's overwhelmed. The overwhelming will definitely be there. Yeah. Because, I mean, then you used to take care of just you, Victoria. But now there is this toddler that needs all your attention and even more.
Yeah.
Not just all your attention, but and even more. You have to feed the baby. You have to make sure they are good. If they're sick, they're not going to talk. You have to know that they're not well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a whole lot of work that you have.
Yeah.
But sometimes when it comes to friends around us, how do we tell them that, something is really happening? You find that we have a phase of crying spells, and those are most common in new mothers.
Oh, yeah.
That sometimes they'll even cry when nothing has really happened.
Yeah.
You just find them crying. Everything makes them sad. Their emotions are all over the place. There, you'll know that, my friend is not having it. They're not having it. And as a support system, that's when you need to chip in. That's when you need to come in. Talk to them. Tell them to go and visit a specialist.
Yeah.
Because we have experts.
Yeah.
Like we have said, we come from Suela Mental Health Services. We are here for mental wellness for everybody.
Yeah.
Tell them, we need to go and see this person. Check in with an expert. Let them talk to that person to make sure that their mental health is in check. When their mental health is in check, it will make it easier for them to look after this child and also to ignore these factors that come along with the postpartum depression. Another thing is self-care. You'll find that, like she said, she forgot about herself. You'll find that your friend no longer looks good, the way they dress, and then they come up with excuses. Come on, I'm a new mother, I've just given birth. It does not work like that. That's when you are in position to tell that your friend is really
forgetting yourself slowly.
Slowly. And by the way, the unfortunate bit is that sometimes it gets even worse. You totally lose a friend that you had. That, I mean, Edna used to dress up nicely and put on her shoes, but eventually she lost it. You'll find it that it's very easy for you to drop on a dare and you move around town. It's not supposed to be like that. You don't lose your life because you had a baby.
Okay.
Oh, wow, guys. Deep. Don't lose your life because you had a baby.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Yes. And I would emphasize the point of seeking help from the people that are around you. We have our loved ones. And share these things with your partner. That's why it's usually very important. I'll bring in the spiritual bit that we pray to God to give us loving partners and who are available.
Yes.
Yeah, because you find that when you have this person that you can tell, the night was so long for me, this and this happened, and they can relate, and they're there to help, it really will save you a whole lot as a new mother.
I agree.
Yes, you have something.
I just remembered
Yes.
what I was going through.
Yes.
And some of the things that actually sparked it all for me. That something I had to look at. I was a very slim girl. I was very curved, but
Petite.
But here comes depression that I understand now, which I didn't understand then. I used to eat a lot. When you are there out and you're taking care of someone that has just had a baby and they're eating out of proportion, watch it.
Either they
Sometimes-
reduce their amounts.
No,
Or
it
increase.
is either too much or too little. And then the sleep is either too much or they can't sleep at all. Now, it is very easy to confuse the two. You've just had a baby, you know the baby is crying all the time, they're not sleeping. But here you have to watch out. When you've just had a baby, you want to sleep all the time. But there is always a possibility that you can't find it even when you want to sleep. That is something. You lose all the love you had for the things you used to do and love. Whether it is family, you withdraw from families. I remember I didn't want anyone to come around. I just wanted to be in my own space, do my own things.
That was going to be my next
I was
question.
running away. I was running away from everyone. I didn't want family to come around. I was sleeping too much. I had lost to take care of no love for myself. Really. Yes. Even the things I used to love and enjoy, it all dropped.
You used to isolate yourself. Okay, cool. Guys. I have brought experts today. I mean, you're isolating yourself. You're not taking care of yourself. No, not you. Your friend is not taking care of you. You need to. I think the way you also approach your friend matters. You don't come and say, you have postpartum depression, to get a doctor. No, guys. Calmly bring it. Remember, these people their emotions are.
I love her.
They are all over.
Yeah.
So you can bring it slowly. Maybe take her for dates,
Yeah.
ice cream. You can leave the baby. Let me help you take care of your baby.
Exactly.
Go and take a shower. Maybe we also need friends to be reminding us, hello? Have you showered today? Shower, go and shower now. Have you
It is
slept?
very important.
Have you taken a nap?
Very important.
Yeah, you need that one friend who's going to remind you about you. Hi guys, I'm in a class. I don't know, I'm feeling sorry for those who will not find this episode. If you feel like your friend needs it, or if you feel like you need it, please be able to share it with them and go to
Suela Mental Health Services.
Suela Mental Health Services. We shall put their contacts down on the screen and you can contact them in case you are suffering from postpartum depression or you have a friend that's suffering from postpartum depression and would like you to help them. So, our last parting shots before we close. Do you have any information that you feel like we have left out in the show and you feel like, they haven't talked about this one? I need to talk before I leave the show.
For any viewer that is out there and you have had history of depression, you have had history of any mental health condition, usually giving birth is like it predisposes you to mental health conditions like postpartum depression. So it is genetic, or if I'm to bring it to a layman, it's hereditary. If your grandmother had it, or your mother had it, or you have a sister that suffered from depression, it's high time you also check it out. It's very, very important that you get to go and screen for postpartum depression.
Oh, guys, go and screen for postpartum. I'm going to. Can I?
Yes, you
Before
can.
I give birth?
No, you have to when you're in the process of.
I want to.
However, you can screen for depression.
Oh.
For postpartum is when you've given birth, but you can screen for depression.
Okay. Thank you so much. Over to you, Victoria.
Thank you so much. And now once again, for me, it's an emphasis. With postpartum depression, all you need is that support system. You need support. Seek for help. Do not be ashamed to seek for help. It's not an illness. It's a condition that you're dealing with and it phases out. But only after you've sought for help. You need to seek for help. And yeah, we are here to give that support. Thank you so much.
Cool. Do you guys want to tell us the price of your services?
Yes, well, it's okay.
Yeah, you can tell us the price of your services so that a viewer out there can say, but can I afford? I think it's pursuing. There is a theory or a myth that therapy is very expensive in Uganda. So people even stay away from it. like they go and resort to maybe drugs or alcohol, and because of the cost of therapy that is too high. How much are your services?
I think we have two ways. It could be individual. If you come in as an individual, we can go for 100,000. However, we also have group therapy for mothers. So there it tones down a bit. And we are here to serve, meaning we cannot let anyone go without
Help.
getting these services and the help that they need.
Yeah.
We understand it's beyond just the money, it is service.
Yeah, so whichever company you have, just call this number, you will be helped. Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for always staying with us on the Mental Health Show. Postpartum depression is real. If you're a mom who has, is it fourth trimester, who's in the fourth trimester, or even beyond, go for screening. Is screening free?
No, it's not.
It's not. Go for screening in Deba and check if you have postpartum depression. If you feel like Toyagala, go and check it out. And be kind always to anyone, any mom. Don't be the one gossiping about your mom friends. You're not a mom yet. Do not be the one saying, don't do it. Don't be saying, you look big because you're breastfeeding. Don't do it. Swallow it. Let it kill you. Leave your friends. They are really trying. They are really, really trying. So, thank you for joining us in this show. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. And please share it with a friend share this episode with a friend that needs it. And always keep it locked for Faraja Television. We are always bringing you content that's amazing. Lastly, as usual, please follow us on all our social media platforms, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Faraja Television. Till next time, bye.